It is back to in-school learning for all students on Monday, except for those in Toronto, York and Peel. The education minister made the announcement late this afternoon.
I want to be clear that safety is what has and what will drive our decisions every step of the way. We will not put your child and your family at risk. In Toronto, Peel and York, those public health units will return to school on Tuesday, February 16th, following the Family Day weekend. For the remaining 13 public health units, essentially all remaining schools, will fully reopen on Monday, February 8th.
Now, the government is trying to walk a difficult line here. The threat of the far more contagious UK variant is a big concern. It's expected to be the dominant strain in Ontario by March. But the Premier is also weighing the mental health impact on students and parents.
Imagine having kids in your house all day long. You're trying to work from home or even come home from work. It's a real challenge.
Peel is one of the province's hotspots. Its medical officer of health supports reopening schools, but he added his voice to many other health experts who say the economy shouldn't open up at the same time.
Reopening of schools should occur before any other community restrictions are lifted.
The Premier hinted today an announcement about reopening the economy could come early next week.
And we'll have an announcement probably on Monday.
But his office quickly walked that back and said there is no planned announcement to reopen the economy. The government has been criticized for lack of clarity around what the threshold to reopen schools is. Biostatistician Ryan Imgren says schools can open as long as community transmission is low. He believes it's too soon for the Ford government to set a firm date for in-class learning in Toronto and Peel, where the reproductive value is below 1, which is good, but the numbers are still fairly high.
I worry now about announcing now that these schools will automatically return in 2 weeks no matter what, that once again, we don't have really clear metrics. I don't have an issue with schools being announced that some are going back next week, but what should be done with the other schools that are not going back next week is that they should be put on hold for a future announcement.
Now, earlier this week, the government announced voluntary asymptomatic testing that will be available to all school boards, and masks will now be mandatory for children in grades 1 to 3. But critics note there's nothing planned for smaller class sizes in elementary grades or greater physical distancing, although students will now be discouraged from congregating outside before and after school. The education minister says trends will be watched closely and, if necessary, schools will be closed again.